That started with a game that was like Alpha Force or something like that. I can't remember the title, but there was this chick who was all muscly and this toad guy. He was like Lizard Man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And there's a dude who's really muscly. And like they go on missions and you're like killing the lizard guys, and like the lizard guy is like one of the bad guys, but he turned good thing. It was a really weird game. Welcome back, guys. You are listening to the Bird's Eye View podcast.
Indeed.
We are back with our hosts and a very special guest this episode. I am Chris Boniface, a senior.
I'm Nick Felidis, a sophomore.
I am Jacob Deal, a sophomore.
First thing to talk about, what are some things you're interested in, hobbies or anything?
What do? I do a lot of stuff, like, I play a lot of video games, like, literally every child ever. If you grew up, after the year 2005, I'm pretty sure you played video games. I like theater and singing.
What got you into theater? That's what I want to know.
Oh, what got me into theater? Okay, so, when I was, like, 10, I used to be a lazy bum and do nothing all the time. And so my mom said, either you're going to do nothing all the time or you're going to do theater. And I said, I want to do nothing all the time. She said, wrong answer, sir. And so now I'm a theater kid.
Wait, so out of everything, she said theater, not like sports?
Well, because I did football, and then when I was in 4th grade, they like switched me to tackle football. But she was like afraid of all the big kids like smashing me, because I'm a pretty short child, you know, like midget boy over here.
Okay, wait. So what's a day in the life of Jacob Deal?
Okay, day in the life of Jacob Deal. You wake up 5 minutes before you're supposed to leave, so you roll out of bed and you throw on a hoodie, and then you act like you got dressed 20 minutes ago, and then you get in your car and you drive to school, and when you get to school, you sit in your car for 5 minutes because it's really cold outside, and then you amp yourself up, so you walk all the way, and then you walk all the way to the PA building, and then usually in the morning, because I get here like 7 o'clock, I sit in the piano room, and I just vibe, I guess, I don't know, it's kind of fun. And then you put on a fake happy face and you walk to your first hour because your first hour teacher makes you depressed.
You're the Joker.
Oh, the Joker. I mean, my father was a Joker, actually.
Oh my god. Speaking of which, on Twitter, one of my friends, they bought 7 copies of Joker.
Why?
In DVD and in Blu-ray. And he got clowned on. Everybody was saying, bruh, go outside, or bruh, I'm terrified of this dude. It was so funny. But, were you gonna say something?
I don't even know why someone would buy 7.
I was gonna say, why
copies.
7? At least buy
I can't even buy
one
one.
digital copy.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure they all had digital codes because you had, like, the, I think it was the Steelbook, or whatever, like, the best version of it you can get.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was weird.
That's cringe, bro.
That is
You
cringe.
posted cringe.
One thing I did want to talk about, though. Did you see the new Star Wars?
No.
Are you serious?
No, I've objected to seeing it. I have yet to see it.
Are you boycotting it?
I'm not boycotting it. It's just I'm, pushing it off. It's like when your mom asks you to do the dishes, and you know she's not gonna be home for like a couple hours, so you wait till like the last minute to do it.
Okay, so you know you have leeway before people start destroying you with spoilers.
Well, I don't care about the spoilers, honestly. It's not a franchise I'm like heavily invested in. Like, I don't know. I haven't been invested in Star Wars since Clone Wars ended, basically.
Yeah,
That was like, what, 2013?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the fan base for Star Wars isn't really like
It's so funny.
hardcore people anymore. It's more of just literally everyone.
Well, no, now it's just turned into stands because you have the Raylos, and then the Finpos.
That's true. All the people who quote unquote care about the Star Wars franchise at this point are stans.
Or well, yeah, that too, and like just consumers.
Yeah,
Like,
and
there's
then
a-
basically the other category is everyone else.
Well, yeah, the meme is like, I'm a consumer. I consume everything I see, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, with all the Marvel movies, with all the Star Wars movies, it's just like, and Jumanji, it's just like, I'm gonna consume everything that I see, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what Star Wars has become, like just a product.
It's because it's, owned by Disney, and Disney owns everything. So everybody knows about Star Wars now. It's not like a cult classic like it used to be. It used to be like a thing that nerds would watch. But now it's like, if you don't watch Star Wars, you're a clown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And the same goes for Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
It's in my math class last year. There was this. Do you remember Luke?
Yes.
he was like, oh yeah, I haven't really seen any of the Marvel movies, and everybody was just clowning on him for it. I was like, this isn't what it was like 5 years ago or something, like, you know, like
Yeah,
about-
when you'd say, I'm gonna go see Avengers opening night, everyone's like,
what a loser.
yeah.
What were your thoughts on The Last Jedi?
It broke Star Wars canon. How are you gonna hyper jump into a ship, but not hit any asteroids? How you going light speed and you hit a ship, but when every other ship is going light speed, they don't hit any asteroids or any other ships?
No, well, the intention was because when you're going into light speed, you type in the coordinates of where you want to go.
Yes.
So, Hodo, like the purple hair lady, she typed in the coordinates to go straight through the what was it? The Star Destroyer, the Dreadnought. What was it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like multiple ships?
Yeah, it was multiple. Well, no, she went through one and then like ricocheted through all of them.
Yeah.
It was no, but there is an explanation for like how she got to that specific location, but it's like
But it's basically bull. It's
yeah.
a bunch of
Well, no,
bull.
yeah, and it's like, okay, why haven't they've been doing this for like the past 30 years? 'Cause
Exactly.
Just
Well,
hire
yeah, who
just hire
needs-
kamikaze pilots. I mean, you hired bombers.
You think the Empire wouldn't have thought of that at some point?
Yeah, well-
Just have kamikaze pilots.
Yeah, because they're all like brainwashed clones.
And
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's not like it costs them anything to print a new clone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and like the other thing, it's like the government in Star Wars, like by the time the sequel hits, it's so confusing because it's like, okay, after Return of the Jedi, we're assuming that the Republic is back like from the prequels, and it's not run by like Leia and all of those people like Mon Mothma, and now the First Order has all these resources and power, but like how? What was the explanation for that? I haven't seen Force Awakens in like ages, but.
Yeah, no, this new Star Wars didn't really help anything continuity-wise. Because, like, they invented a lot. Like, force healing was the biggest thing.
Mhm.
from that
It was
movie.
in the Mandalorian as well. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna spoil it.
that's why they put it in the Mandalorian, so people wouldn't get as mad when.
Well, no, that just like fuels the fire. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
exactly.
'Cause it's
That's
like,
no, but that's what they thought they were gonna do. It's like, oh, if we introduce it in the Mandalorian, people won't get mad. But it actually made them even more mad because it's like,
because it's like, can Obi-Wan just healed Qui-Gon
Yeah.
or heal Anakin? I don't think he wanted to, but he could have
Yeah.
done that.
Back.
No, Palpatine could have done that too to
Well,
Anakin.
if you think about it, Rey force healed Kylo when they were enemies, so he could Obi-Wan could have healed Anakin because he loved him as a brother.
Yeah.
So-
Seth use absolute.
So basically, the force healing in that movie just destroyed it.
We just
I
gotta
think,
pray
at
that they
least.
don't ruin the new Clone Wars season.
Oh yeah, well no, that's been written for like since it ended.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if it's been written. It's Disney.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true because they'll probably make edits.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I
that's
doubt
the
they
thing.
would keep the original like.
Well,
every-
because there are like so many cartoons coming back. Well, no.
Yeah,
okay,
they're
that's kind
like-
of a lie. There's
they're
like two
they're
cartoons.
revamping the cartoons that they already have and reintroducing the Clone Wars.
Well,
Well-
yeah, because the last 3 years have been like just revivals. Like,
Yeah, Rebels.
2018, 2019, and 2020.
Well, Rebels is supposed to get its sequel.
Yeah, it's a
But
sequel. Yeah.
why?
I don't know.
They're,
Well, I
they're
heard
focusing on what they have.
I heard some of it's good, but not all of it. The animation is horrendous. Have you seen the lightsabers?
I do not like Rebels, especially because they use my boy Darth Maul and then they kill him, and that's his canon.
I heard that was a really good episode. Well, no, because then he's back in Solo.
Yeah, but Solo takes place before.
Oh
Yeah, 'cause
that's
that's
how-
young Han.
Oh, did you see they revealed the timeline of
No.
Star Wars? So they changed it. It's all because originally is after the Battle of Yavin.
Mhm.
You know how we have AD and like BC. Now it's all. It used to be after the Battle of Yavin, before the Battle of Yavin. Now it's like before Starkiller Base, implying that the Force Awakens is like the epicenter of Star Wars. So it's really stupid. No, but with the whole show's coming back.
Mhm.
Young Justice got a third season after getting canceled. Clone Wars is coming back. A ton of live action shows got sequels like what, Fuller House.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't Sabrina the Teenage Witch like a
Is that a
sequel?
thing now?
Well, no, isn't
Well,
it
they're
a
gonna
show?
do more seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, well, isn't
because
it-
it was good.
Well,
when I
wasn't
say
it,
things are good, it's because that's what people say.
No, yeah, it's like the majority
Yeah.
opinion, but isn't it like? Well, didn't it used to be a show in like the '90s or something?
Yeah. No, Sabrina the Teenage Witch was an old property.
Well, same thing with like, now that they have Disney Plus, they have like the new High School Musical series.
Yeah.
I saw the first episode. So
It's
I
High,
so-
School, High School
Really?
Musical, the
It's
musical,
horrendous.
the series.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like the first two episodes, everything seems super self-aware.
No,
Because it's not an actual musical. They're
it's-
filming
it's-
a musical.
Yeah, it's like about them doing the musical because it's like the film where it's the place where they film the movie, so they want to do musical there.
Yeah.
And the actors seem pretty good. I just hate the main actress. Like she's so bad.
The girl who's supposed to play like the love interest or whatever.
Yeah, like the main girl.
Yeah.
Because I like the main guy. His acting's really good, but Jesus.
But like besides Star Wars, are you invested in any other franchises?
Oh well, depends. Like I am heavily invested in like Borderlands. I love Borderlands, but I feel like 3 ruined it for me. So now I'm like I liked it before it was Borderlands 3, and so now I'm just like a grouch about everything. I don't know.
Chris, don't you play Borderlands?
Yeah, Borderlands 3 was really disappointing.
No, it was so bad.
It was a really bad game. And if you want to check out my review on thetalent.com, you can, because I destroy that game in that review because it is not worth it.
So, I've never touched Borderlands. How would you describe Borderlands to an outsider such as me?
Okay, just act like 3 and the pre-sequel don't exist. Because 3 has amazing gunplay, but the most awfully written story I've ever seen from, like, the franchise. I'd rather play the pre-sequel story with Borderlands 3's gunplay than play either of those games. It's really bad. But if I have to describe Borderlands, it's, like, chaotic fun, and the more people and more time you invest in it, the more fun it gets. But for Borderlands 3, it's the complete opposite. You just want to get it done.
Yeah, you want to get through it. 100%ing that game was possibly the worst idea I've ever had in my life.
See, I was watching this, or I was listening to this other podcast, and they were like, games haven't been good since like the 90s or something like that. And I'm like, we've gotten some good games like in the past decade or so, right?
Yeah.
Like 2017 alone was like one of the best years for gaming. Or not 2017, 2018,
Yeah.
or whenever Red Dead came out and like Spider-Man and all those other games.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot about another franchise I'm really invested in. I love BioShock like a lot.
That's what I wanted to play.
I have all 3 BioShocks on my PC, and then I have like the remastered collection. And then they announced new BioShock, and I was looking at who they were hiring for it, and they're hiring like endgame designers for like infinite gameplay. So like it's gonna have like microtransactions and like. And it really, really made me mad. I was like, and they're hiring a multiplayer designer, but it's strictly supposed to be like a single player game.
Well, speaking of microtransactions, Battlefront. Okay, so Battlefront 2 is actually a good game now. It's
Yeah.
weird. They took out all the microtransactions and all like the pay to win stuff, and it's like genuinely fun now. It's like playing Battlefield with a Star Wars skin on it, right?
Well, I was gonna say it's because they took all their developers from Battlefield and they just like put them on there to fix the game.
Well, that's in Battlefield.
So now Battlefield 5 died.
Well, I thought everyone says like even Hardline is better than 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But no one liked Hardline.
I've only played 4 and 3, and like very briefly.
that's like the peak of the series. Once you get to
Yeah.
4, you're like,
No, yeah, the
'Cause
multiplayer was super fun on there.
because 1 is good, but it's just not
Boring.
like chaotic fun.
Yeah, it gets boring really quickly.
Because
But-
you don't have like planes crashing into each other all over the place. It's just
The Megalodon. Oh, I remember looking up the Easter eggs for that. That was so sick. But one question, I was just thinking about this. How did we all get into video games? Like what? Like I just like video games. But what was the I guess like the spark?
okay. This is gonna sound really bad, but when I was like 3 or 4, right? I saw my dad playing the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, and I was like, that's kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. And so I proceeded to learn how to play Modern Warfare 2. So by the time Black Ops 1 came out, I got Black Ops 1, and I just nonstop played zombies on there. And so that is how I got into gaming.
How did you get into gaming, Chris?
For me, I started a lot more early on. For me, it was the original Xbox, and I stayed with Xbox till the second 360.
There was a second 360?
Because there was the 360, the white one, then there was the 360, the black one,
Oh.
which was the updated, it had better, like,
Yeah.
insides and everything.
Yeah.
And it was totally worth the upgrade, unlike the PS4 Pro and the PS4, literally the same console, just
Same thing with like the Xbox One and
Yeah.
Xbox One X.
yeah.
It's like-
Those were not even, I couldn't even consider those upgrades. Those are just like, you want to shell out $400 more for no reason.
Mhm.
But with this Xbox 360, that was a huge jump because the technology was going so fast, so quickly. Like, over the span of those 6 years, they had increased technology so much since then. And so, the original Xbox was when I got introduced to gaming. And that started with a game that was like Alpha Force or something like that. I can't remember the title. But there was this chick who was all muscly, and this toad guy. He was like Lizard Man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And there's a dude who's really muscly, and like they go on missions and you're like killing the lizard guys, and like the lizard guy is like one of the bad guys but he turned good thing. It was a really weird game, and it was absolutely awful. But I swear to God, if I played it today, I would love it, even if it was like the worst experience.
That's what it comes down to.
Because for gaming, for me, basically it was just like, this is crazy. I've never experienced anything like this before, you know? Like, just entering this completely different, like, space.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm like, whatever, it's video games. But that first initial experience is so crazy because you're like, all I've experienced up until this point was reading books and watching TV. So to actually, like, play something, so you have the interactivity of books while also getting that TV aspect of a story and actual, like, visuals and things to get attached to. So that's why gaming really stuck out to me at the beginning, honestly.
I started with so I think my mom, because I was really into Spider-Man, still am. My mom, she got me like this placemat, and it had like a Spider-Man game with it, and you'd have to press different parts of it to climb on the wall. It was super bad. It was. I bet if I look at it now, it'd be horrendous. And then after that, it was like the VTech Smile, which is like what you would give like a little kid.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I would play the Spider-Man game on repeat. It was so fun. I remember you would go in a grocery store for some reason. There was a Scooby-Doo game on it and stuff, and then I just got like a PlayStation 2 where I played the Lego Batman games, and then a Wii, and then a PS3, and now I'm on PS4. But nothing really. I guess it was just like I progressively got into it more. I guess I never grew up with Call of Duty or Halo. I wanted to grow up with both. It wasn't a matter of not being allowed to play it. It's just I didn't have the console at the time. So it's like, yeah, but
I don't know. I mean, I can think of times before like I played Modern Warfare 2 in which I was like invested in gaming, but like because at our preschool I remember they had like the original Xbox and it had I think like a skate game or a Tony Hawk game, and it was like the most fun thing. So everybody would fight over trying to play it. Skate 3 on the original Xbox.
Yeah, no, I played it on the PlayStation 3 on my uncle's house. It was so fun.
No, Skate 3.
I think it was Skate 3.
Yeah, skate games like skating games have like a legacy now because everybody remembers them so fondly, and there's like no way to like make them monetizable. I mean, Ubisoft came out like a couple years ago with a game called Steep.
Yeah. I have it on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, because it was free for.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got it on Epic a couple days ago because I was gonna crack it and it was free on Epic, and I don't like what they've done. Like it's so fun to play, but everything is so monetized. It's like, you know, spend $10 to get this new like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can get like a bobsled instead of like a snowboard.
Oh yeah, like you can get sleighs and like actual like things.
Reindeer.
You can buy new vehicles basically.
Yeah,
which is dumb.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when it's just like, you know, do this insanely difficult trick and you get this cool skateboard.
Oh, God.
Like, that's the problem with gaming. That's why everyone says there's been no good games for the last 10 years. Because gaming isn't about the consumer anymore. It's about monetizing the game.
Yeah.
It's not about a good story or good gameplay. It's about how much money we can suck out of little kids stealing from their parents.
That's like the basis of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Kind of, to some extent.
If you wanted to boil down the gaming industry from its very beginning, basically it's just, it went from being a bunch of nerds hanging out to people making money.
Essentially.
Because video games weren't very profitable.
Yeah, no, like,
up until like the 2000s.
Like, no, because all the like the biggest franchises, like they started out in like the smallest companies, or at least like the Batman Arkham games did.
Yeah.
Like it was a staff of like 200 people, 100 people working on it for like a few years. But like Naughty Dog, I think they used to have a small staff as well when they were making what was their game? What was the game? Not Ratchet and Clank, not Banjo and Kazooie.
They did Jax, Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, that's what it was, yeah, and like the first few Uncharted games, but yeah, it's definitely like the same thing with movies. It's like it's an oversaturated market because so many people want money.
I doubt you guys have seen it, but there's this really interesting documentary about Activision and creating Modern Warfare 4 because Infinity War had wanted to make like a modern military game based in like modern setting because it was like, you know, topical at the time. It was like 2008, so everyone was like, oh yeah, everybody knew about what it was. but Activision wanted them to stay in like World War II or 1960s because it was more familiar to a gamer than it was to like the general public, and it was seen as more like it was more distant to people. Like if you see somebody with a suicide vest kill 3 of your teammates, it's a lot more like people have actual like imagery of that now than people saying I got like gunned down by PPSH or whatever.
Yeah, I got stabbed by a bayonet.
Yeah, it's like people that's not like related to people anymore, but like so there was this huge pushback because it was like a hugely costly game because they want to make bigger levels, like more modern weapons. So it was like they had to redesign their entire system. But now it's more they don't care what the setting is for like Activision. They know that like since Call of Duty is like a title, they don't care. They'll throw as much funding as it needs to get made, and then they'll just microtransactions and like DLC just to make money.
I was actually kind of excited for the new Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Because it was like a reboot. But I never got it because nobody was saying anything good about it. Like everyone said, it's fun, it's good.
Yes,
and it was like the same reaction to Black Ops 4. I have that game. It's not good.
No.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just with Modern Warfare, I feel that no one's complaining because it's not a bad game. Generally, it just really didn't do anything.
Yeah. The problem was not even the development. It was because it came with like new systems, like the whole like create a class system. The new one is really good.
Yeah.
But it was more the players who were playing it because all my friends who have it say it's not enjoyable because if I come around the corner, everybody can hear me because the audio systems are so loud because they added like new sprint systems. So the faster you run, the more noise you make. So everybody's just camping around with shotguns listening for people.
Yeah.
And so it's not a fun game to play for more than a couple hours because everyone is just waiting and nobody's like moving.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of how classic Call of Duties were, where everyone would pick an SMG and just run at each other. It's more like a slow-paced, methodical thing like Sieges or CS:GO.
Yeah, which makes sense considering the video game climate right now is genuinely moving towards games like that with Rainbow. Like, I love Rainbow, don't get me wrong. It's just I feel like Call of Duty really shouldn't have that Rainbow feel.
it should have a Call of Duty feel.
It should have a Call of Duty feel, which is what everyone wants, which is high-action gameplay. Literally, stuff is exploding, like, everywhere while you're running through, like, the Middle East, and you get sniped from, like, 50 miles away.
Yeah.
That's Call of Duty.
Call of Duty should be like an arcade shooter, like where it's a lot of fun and it's casual, not something where you have to like actually focus up and like try to play to win. You can just play casually and have a good time.
Yeah, that's why I stand by the fact that I think Black Ops 2 is basically the best Call of Duty because that's where they had the most fun, really. Because they did what they wanted to do. They made a borderline boring story. The second one's the story's good, but it's not the best. But they literally were just like, all right, story's done. Now let's focus on everything else. The multiplayer was amazing. The gunplay was amazing. They added in extra modes for no reason, like the zombie arcade, the single player like thing you could do, like the weird zombie thing, and then so like they just added stuff for fun. Like they didn't have to add in zombie arcade. They really didn't have to do that, but they did it anyway because that was when they cared. They just wanted to do what was
fun.
But now they're like, what are we gonna do? What's profitable?
See, with shooter games, my favorite is the first Battlefront. So like the 2015 Battlefront, which was hailed as like one of the worst launches like ever because of like how like what a wasteland the game was because it only had like 8 game modes. Like the collectibles sucked and like the system, like the the mechanics weren't that great. But I played with it. I played it like so often. Like I know I'm max rank and everything. I have all the weapons unlocked and stuff. But that was just so fun. And that's really like how I got into Star Wars. I had already seen the movies prior, but that's what made me rewatch them. Cause like I watched them when I was little, and I was like, yeah, these are cool. But then I played Battlefront 1, the 2015 version. And then I went back and rewatched the movies, and I was like, God, I love Star Wars. Like, it's weird because I don't have the same connection to like Black Ops 2 or like Modern Warfare as everybody else did. Black Ops 3 was like I think it was like the second one I played. I played Black Ops 2 at a friend's house, which was pretty fun, but he would always like try and play by himself. So he'd take the controller and just start playing online while I'm just sitting watching him. It was really boring. Then he'd get yelled at by his mom. It was